Hello everybody, what's up? This is Papa Bale. Welcome to the channel. I've been messing around with the axial flux and this new coil that I made and capacitor breaking. I haven't figured the breaking part out yet because it's probably counterintuitive. But I do have a capacitor in now and a diode, and it kind of, it's questionable whether or not it's doing anything at the moment because the ground and the negative terminal of the motor are connected in the same connector. So I don't know which path it's taking. I'm hoping that when I switch this switch off, that it gets closed or cut off and is forced to go the other way. But I don't know if that's what's happening or not. I don't know. But I got a trigger coil hooked up now, and it's pretty sweet. All right. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Mike? Haha. Thumbs up, bro. So I got the trigger coil functioning with the axial flux here. And I've got the diode that I need and the capacitor that I need to run a braking mechanism. But I'm struggling with how you hook that capacitor up. It's got to be a counterintuitive link somehow because I got it hooked up in series or parallel in series of both. So like negative to negative, positive to positive. That's not the way it works. I probably wouldn't be able to understand if you tried to explain it to me right now either. For this right here, it's not. Really, Nathan has told me about it. You told me about it. I don't have a diagram. Never drew a picture of this one. But it's simply just an external trigger. This is the same coil, though, that I was using before, but I switched to rotor. Okay, so the magnets are totally different. With the stronger magnets, the trigger coil is effectively triggers every time. And the amps are continuing to climb. We're at 0.7 amps right now at 12 volts. Now, see, what I'm curious is when I flip the switch here and turn it off, I'm supposed to get a break, kind of like a breaker mechanism. But I think the way I have it hooked up, it's just going to make it move longer. Yo, Noah. I kicked everybody off of the Discord, man. I wasn't sure whether I'd be doing this anymore, so I just kind of ended everything. And then I'm like, well, if it's meant to be, then we can start over. If we can't start over, it's not meant to be, you know? This coil right here, Mike, this coil is the switch. Nope, there's no reed anymore. I took that out. It's a trigger coil. So if I can't run the brake with a trigger coil, then I don't need to worry about it right now. So this is the drive coil, the one we've been working with all along the last couple of days. My Litz wire coil. And then this here is a just 32 single strand. It's about 3,000 or 6,000 turns. I'm not quite sure. It's probably a double wrap, so it's probably 6,666 turns of 32 gauge. And as you can see, it works like a charm. I put a resistor both on the positive and negative side of the trigger coil. So like for any reason I had to swap these wires, I could do it without having to worry about there being a resistor or not. hmm. So I was talking with Chat about how to hook up the braking system with a capacitor. And she said hook the diode to the positive motor terminal, the cathode, hook the cathode of the diode to the positive motor terminal, and hook the anode to the negative of the motor terminal. And I'm like, how do you hook up the cap? And it's basically a parallel hookup with the diode, but I think you got to reverse it. So if you're looking at it straight down at the breadboard, it's going to line up the diode and the capacitor are going to line up with each other. I just don't know which way each one's going to go. And I've tried the same, I've tried different, and it works. It just doesn't break at all. And then I could probably use that same mechanism to start it. At least that's what you were talking about, Mike. Now I don't know what that crackling noise is. Sounds like a continuous somebody ripping ass right now. I don't know what that is. I've looked. It might be the magnets bouncing up and down in there because they're just kind of laying in there. There, it's gone. So it's not anything major. I just didn't know what it was. And see, we were not getting results like this with the reed switch, but we were also using a different rotor. So I don't know, man. That experiment, if we were going to make a comparison, has been extremely prejudiced and has to be thrown out because it's totally like mixing bananas with pineapples. This rotor obviously works way better with the trigger coil because I haven't been able to like even start the motor with the trigger coil with the other rotor. So, and there it is. It's moving like a wonder right now. 4,000 divided by 3, 4,300. Holy smoke. That's still increasing at a rapid rate of speed. 45, 46, 4,700, 48, 49, 50. Oh my God, 5,000 divided by 3. That should be going fast enough to trip this system over here. Noah, relax, bro. The world isn't going to end tomorrow. I'm not doing any of that right now. I will probably make you a mod again if, you know, we can just not worry about it right now. That would be great with me. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I'm not really paying attention too much. I turn around every once in a while. 166. 1666, man. That's right. No, I wasn't ignoring you. No, I'm obviously not looking at the chat. That is obviously what's going on. So, I don't know, man. It's really not something I want to discuss on the live streams, dude. Send me an email or whatever. And if you want to get back on the Discord, we can chat there. I will re-invite you if you want to do that, but I'm not. Ugh. All right. So, all right, man. I apologize, everybody. I'm sorry, Noah. I really am. So, yeah, I mean, since you wanted to make it an issue, I do have bipolar disorder. And I believe I mentioned that on streams before. But frankly, I don't think it's anybody's business. And I shouldn't have shared it with him anyway. There's a lot of things I shouldn't have done that I've done in seek of camaraderie and friendship. You know, so I feel like I've been used and abused. Rode hard in conquest and put away wet. That's how I feel. you know, and I'm not giving up yet. You know, I'm going to keep on working at this. You know, I got my issues and everything, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, I'm going to keep moving forward, man. Unfortunately, somebody let slip to a child that my channel had been overrun by children, which I totally don't agree with at all. So both of them are gone. I don't know who they are. I'm not going to pretend to understand what all that crap means. I'm not going to pretend to be cool about it. But, you know, I have my way of handling stuff right now, and just basically, yeah, he said I was ignoring him. Now I'm going to be ignoring him. And I had a lot of people in my ban list. I've unbanned everybody, even the people with absurd names. I've unbanned everybody. Everybody's welcome to come back and try again. He did. He just wasted his chance. I'm not gonna, I mean, the only person who's gonna humiliate or embarrass me ever again is gonna be me. And that's it. Not that that was humiliating or embarrassing, but I mean, if anything humiliating or embarrassing comes of that, I did it to myself. Yeah, man. I mean, and that brings, I mean, just that kind of behavior brings forth topics that I don't want to discuss. So, I don't know. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I don't let it dominate. I let it take maybe 20 minutes of my life while I explain my feelings, and then I move on. But I mean, you're absolutely right, man. I can't dwell on that, and I'm not going to. And no, honestly, it's a damn shame, you know, because it's not like the people that I am are bad people. They're not bad people at all. And there's nothing that I really want to hold against them. I mean, the only thing that I would hold against anybody is their own opinion. You're responsible for that. And what comes your way because of it. I'm really not, I mean, it's big here in the United States, zero accountability, where you can pretty much say and do pretty much whatever you want as long as it falls within the law. And there's a lot of things that fall within the law that make me want to throw up. So let's just call me the Jimi Hendrix. That's good, Mike. I like that. Let's call me the Jimi Hendrix of electro pulse motors or whatever we're doing here. Because that's how I learned. I learned upside down and backwards. Everybody else typically learned it. And it worked better like that for me for a long time. Now I just don't know. Sweating balls. I got you. So you're talking about playing a guitar? Was it electrical or acoustic? Okay. Sweet. Oh. I mean, yeah, me and Chat, I'm on like Chat. Listen to me, man. I don't have motor terminals. This is what I have. Okay. And she's like, no, positive motor terminal. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I have a coil that goes under the rotor, and that's pretty much my motor. And I'm like, is it the power supply? She's like, no. Is it? I'm like, is it the motor coil? And she's like, yes. Oh man, it was hard to understand. It's hard to understand. It really is because I was trained upside down and backwards. I see what you're saying. Yeah, but unfortunately, I only have it's a single strand. So maybe, I mean, yeah, actually, I think I could work with that because I have these multiple connectors right here. So I can actually, I got it. All right. We just need the right amount of connectors. And I think I got the two that I need right here. Okay, Mike, thanks. That's really awesome. I think we're going to solve this right now. Hmm. These connectors are so neat. So cool. All right. So this is the one that's connected to the base. So we'll say that that's connected to the positive end of that cap. I don't know if I have it hooked up right now, but this will be interesting. Now, am I going to short this, Mike? Am I going to short it? Am I going to hook it up so it's basically shorted out? Yeah, it looks like that's what I'm doing, even if it's not what I'm supposed to do. All right. So as soon as I get this in there, we'll give it a test run. All right. Now, we'll take this one out completely because the drive, it looks like, can be grounded now without needing this extra wire in here. All right. All right, let's see. Might be, I think it's totally wrong, but that's just because of the way I have it hooked up. The capacitor and the diode, they're in series right now, so I don't know how this is going to function, but we'll see. Hmm. So obviously, the way I have it hooked up right now, it's not even like really catching. So maybe I got to put this wire back in there. Let's do that. Mm. All right, let's give that another try. I think we got it right there. It's going to pick up speed. All right, so I think basically what the problem there was is that I have the capacitor and the diode hooked up in series right now. They're all stator coils right now, Mike. Let's not like complicate things. The stator is virtually the coil that's on the outside that doesn't move. You can untether your stator so that it either moves consecutively or all the stators move at once, or you can untether each stator individually so that it can spin. There's lots of things you can do. But I mean, it's just confusing. Literally, like so confusing. But I know the trigger coil here can be used, I guess, to run the brake. Is what you're saying. No, diagrams confuse me even more, bro. I don't understand the legend of a diagram. Not the way you guys draw them. This is how I do my diagrams. See, mine has designs on it, like a spiral for the rotor. You know, the rotor part of the motor. Not the solid state stuff, which is pretty cool. I like that. But you got your stator, which is around the outside, right? I guess. And I mean, I don't know, man. There's only two coils. So you got your drive coil here, and then you got your trigger coil over here. And I did that because I couldn't. That 32 gauge thing that I did was just too hard to work with. I should have not cut it. And to piece it back together, I should have left it as a single strand. That'd be so much easier to work with right now. I don't know. I could probably practice it a little more. Because that's all it ever really is, man, is a practice. Because, I mean, even the guys who've been doing it for years, like yourself, end up needing to use a pencil because that's just the way it is. It's smarter to use something you can erase. And I guess, you know, if I take the time to do it over a couple times. Yeah, the solid state is awesome. I think you know, all the different variety of coiling. You got your Rodin coil, you got your Tesla coil, all that solid state stuff is really powerful. And I think it's awesome. I don't know if it's necessarily, you know, what I'm going to quote unquote specialize in, but it's cool. I think I'm going to be more like counter rotators because they come naturally to me the way I just design them. And I think that all of mine would work with the trigger coil if I tested them with the 24-volt system instead of the 12. Overlander. That's okay. I could lie to you and say I'm trying to change the world and I'm making prototypes that are groundbreakers and icebreakers, and I'm gonna make peace with the whole world doing this stuff, and that's my purpose. But you know, that's a lie. I'm not doing that. At least not right now. I haven't been approached to save the world, so that's not what I'm doing. Uh, I'm learning every day. So, I mean, and I'm trying to teach what I know to other people. But, you know, sometimes there are externalities that get in the way of doing that. But, you know, I'm 90% learning, 10% trying, and I'm not even trying to teach anybody because I'm not necessarily saying everything that I've learned is gold or right. I'm just trying to tell you what I know and how to do it. In a straight line, basically. See, when you get into a diagram, it's not a straight line. A lot of these circuits are not a straight line, but you know, a classical circuit and its diagram has a light bulb, a switch, and a battery or a power source, and it is a straight freaking line. Okay, from plus to negative, from power source to power source. It is simple to understand. And then there's advanced stuff, which is less easy to understand. It's counterintuitive. It's, you know, putting a negative into a negative. That's the parallel connection. You put the positive into the positive and the negative into the negative. That's not simple. That's advanced. Okay? A series is simple. It's, you know, it goes in the positive, out the negative, into another positive. That's simple. That's the way it's supposed to work. That's the way the diagram in 6th grade science class is drawn. You know, power source to power source, and what's in between it is a straight line with a break at the switch and a light bulb. And we demonstrate this in our class. Real deal, man. Like using a AA battery. We light the light bulb up just by throwing the switch. But like this braking mechanism is kind of what I'm on about. I think there's like a counterintuitive display here. Oh, I don't know. Because in order to get it to work, you got to ground that stuff. I just showed that to you. I demonstrated to you that without grounding, it will not work. Okay? So you have to ground it. And that's what we did here with this double connection. We grounded it, and then we put it over here to the cap. Now you're saying, and then with these ones over here, I'm all jumbled up, man. I gotta start from scratch, really. Heck yeah, man. Like, what do you do, Overlander? Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, hmm, you are so right about the people in general. And I'm one of those people now that need to be saved because I've been angry for so long that, yeah, man, I need help. And I asked for help and I got it. You know, I'm a totally different person today than I was 3 weeks ago. I handle things a different way now. Hmm. Huh. So what if we just take the positive connection from the trigger coil, since it's already grounded, right? It's already grounded. So we're just going to take that positive connect and we're going to put it virtually like feed it into the cap. And then that should, what if I'm not trying to break it? What if I don't want to use it as a brake? I mean, a brake was suggested, a power starter was suggested. And what if I don't want to do either one of those? What if I just want to prolong how long it moves for? That's what I've basically been trying to do this whole time is make it move more. Maybe not even faster, just for a longer period of time. So that did not work. Maybe I got to use this other side and do something with it. That's how I found most of the way. All this open-ended stuff doesn't really function that well. I mean, yeah, you can get some stuff, but all right, let's give it another go. So I'm just working on this. I'm bypassing certain things, and so now I'm just going to bypass that whole setup altogether, and I'm going to plug it directly in. Well, actually, we should use the diode and bypass only the capacitor. to do what I'm trying to do next. Mint. Okay, so here we go. We'll unplug that one. And probably because it wasn't plugged in all the way, but now here's your standard connection. I mean, it's going straight through the cap and the diode, but it's also grounded. So I don't know if it's working, because I'm pretty sure the path of least resistance is going straight to the ground. But let's... The three ways? Cool, man. Hot, yeah, the hot leg. the prong that's most widely ignored are all right. Whew. And the weird thing is I got the ground for the trigger coil goes to number 2 over here, and the ground for the coil goes to number 1. So I leave number 2 on, turn number 1 off, so the power isn't being used. I think it's kind of working a little bit. I mean, it would normally be going a lot faster than that. And since it's only 160 turns of 20 gauge, you're not getting much magnetically induced electricity from this. You could get it from the trigger coil like we've been trying to do. But I mean, it's probably, like I said, because they're hooked up in series right now, and I don't think that's how that system works in a series connection. But it is being utilized because you can't get from one end to the other without going through it. But you don't have to go through it. That's my whole concern here, is because the dump, the ground is the path that's being taken. But when I flip this switch, I think I close that path off. I really do. So we're going to let it get up to speed real quick, and then I'm going to just flip the switch. We'll see how long it takes for it to stop. So this is an axial flux DC pulse motor, and we're trying to implement a braking system using a capacitor and a diode, rectifier diode. I can hear that like slowing. I don't know, man. Maybe we got it. Maybe it's just not enough power to actually be useful. I don't know if that's how it works or not. I really don't. I mean, if I could see it work like one time, maybe even get an aerial view of it hooked up in a breadboard, that would help out tremendously. No, I mean literally like a picture of the freaking setup. I don't. That's what I want. That's how I learn. I use my eyes and my ears, but I can't. It's like reading is tremendously hard for me to learn from. Makes my head hurt. I do audiobooks every day of my life if it meant that I didn't have to read again. Yeah, heck yeah, man. I'm going to keep drawing. I'll draw more pulse motors for sure. So I'm pretty sure that's all inertia. This is not being helped along by itself at all, I don't think. I don't know though. I'm not an expert, so I mean I have hooked it up to a point where it could definitely here, let's turn this off. I'm gonna disconnect the ground. And we're just gonna have one ground. And it's gonna be that one. Which one should it be? Well, we're going to do both. So we're going to undo this one and maybe connect it somewhere else. So this one's going to dump into the cap. And we'll move it up one just in case we have to use our little connector. Where did it go? Haha. Where's our little red connector? Oh well, we can just use this small jumper wire if I need to. All right, so let's turn it on. Nope, we're not getting an amp draw. All right, so this is how we're going to fix that. We're going to ground that whole situation. You can already hear it. I don't even have to spin it again. So that's our problem right there, is you have to ground that coil in order for it to work at all. Or there's one connection that nobody can tell me what it is that'll make it work a different way. Let's say that. But it's got to be grounded, and when you ground it, it automatically takes that path. Now, if I reverse this, no, I think the diode is right. The diode is correct. That the cathode is to the positive of the motor terminal, the positive motor terminal, which is connected to the emitter in this case. And then I think we may have solved our problem, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to take a little bit more rudimentary tactics than, say, if it was hooked up a different way. But once I turn this off and pull this orange plug, it'll then be a closed situation. But I have to remove that jumper wire. And then I won't have a choice but to go back through the system, whatever electricity is being generated. And we'll leave on the negative of the trigger coil. Now I took the ground out. Let me, yeah, you're absolutely right. I might need a super cap or a ceramic one. This one is a 10 volt polarized. It's got 22,000 or 2200 microfarad in it. Yeah, let me get the phone off of there real quick. Actually, I have a bunch of them, so I'll just move the cap to the phone. Look at that thing still moving, man. It's moving. Hey, Bear, what's up, my man? How you doing? Beat Reachers. How you doing, Beat? The anode of the capacitor is on the stripe. It's on the negative side. The cathode is not hooked to the capacitor at all at the moment. And I think that's where I'm screwing up. Hold on, I got a solution. And I only have a few of these. I'm not even sure if this one is functioning. Let me show you this and you can tell me if it's blown or not. Is that cap blown? Anyway, this one is 47 and 25 volts. No, I don't. That's all great and everything, but I don't think you guys are listening to me that I don't have it hooked up right. So I could add it, 3 of them in parallel right here, and if I don't have it hooked up right to start, it's not going to make a bit of difference. So let's start from scratch. Because I think I have it hooked up wrong, like from the base, from the stump to stem, man. It's just not right at the foundation. All right, so who would like to explain to me where the diode goes in this situation? And I will lift this up. I'll bring the camera over here and I'll give you the aerial shot, because I don't even think the way I had it, the cap was charging at all. And I could hook it up to the meter just to like prove that. All right. I understand. Hold on. No. You're talking about this like it's a completely separate scenario from whatever else is going on here. Is that true? So like when I set it up, should I set it up like over here? Let just basic. I'm a baby. We're going step by step, man. I don't like, so we're going to set it up right here. Is this good? separate. Okay, thanks, Mike. That's going to help us leaps and bounds. All right, so I will put the diode in first, and we will connect the capacitor to the diode via all right. So should I hook it up in the center, like at 5 or 3? So I can hook up on both sides. Okay, and the white stripe is pointing that way, by the way. Positive of the cap. Okay, so the side that does not have the stripe on it. Now, is the other side going to hook up to the other end? Or is it going to go more like this? Because the cathode is now hooked to the positive side of the cap. We're going to connect the drive coil, this coil, to the cap. Or you were suggesting that we hook up the trigger coil to the cap? Just put the negative side in a hole for now? Okay. We're going to do that. All right. What's up, Dan Watt? Yeah, we're still working on the brake thing. Ah, me too, Dan. Me too. No, that's not what I'm planning on doing at all, Mike. That's just what I felt I had to do at that particular point in time. Because the way I had it set up. So I don't know how this is even supposed to work, Mike. I have no idea. It was suggested to me by Nathan and you, but you in reverse. You wanted me to use something like this to get it started. That is not going to do anything, Mike. Oh, you're not talking to me? The negative side of the cap now line with the coil. Which end of the coil? Does it go in the start or does it go in the end? Then we can forget about it. For now, anyway. Because it's not my idea, so I'm not going to draw a diagram of something that I have no fucking idea about. Just isn't going to happen. You draw me a picture, dude. uh, nope. The answer to your suggestion is no. I will not spend another dime on this right now. No. If I can't do it with what I have here, then it's not going to be done, at least for another month or so. They are great ideas, but there's a communication breakdown. I think, you know, when I look on his channel, Mike, your channel's great. I learn a lot from your channel. No, I don't need money, dude. And I don't need the fucking Switch either. All I need is enough money to take care of my family, and I'm good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So frustrating, man. I mean, we get to this point right here where we had stuff, and then I'm like, okay, now how do we plug it in? And you're like, well, I need to see your diagram. Thanks, Beat. I'm looking for a moderator, man. You interested? Then Brian, I'm looking for moderators right now. like a pearl necklace, Mike. Like a pearl necklace. Shit. Oh man. I don't know. Are we in the same? Well, that's okay. That's all right. I'm not looking for like anybody, but just to really interact with the crowd while I put stuff together and take stuff apart. That's basically what I need. Oh, you know, we banned a bunch of people. I unbanned everybody. Everybody, come on back. Come on down, man. I don't care if your name is gonna get you shot, man. I don't care. come on back. We're going to sort it out. Everybody that's been banned from my channel can come back. And they know that. They all get another chance. And, I mean, some people are already burning bridges. But that's okay. That's on them. And that's true, man. It doesn't... the truth is what you do is on you. Even if you don't have to pay for it in this lifetime. POD, man. It's all POD. Heck yeah, man. Mike's got some great ideas. Should check out his channel, man. It's all about this stuff. He's got like All right, can you hear me now? Can you hear me at all? Can anybody hear me? All right, yeah, my mic died, so, but I'm holding it now. So it'll work out. Heck yeah. All right, so I am down to 36%. I have my phone plugged in though. It's been slowly whittling down from like 60. Um, so I'm just, yeah, I'll work on that later, especially if I need pieces of it that I need to buy and everything. We'll do that later. Man, you don't even know what's dwelling in my innards, homie. I am a black hole, man. That's why I know that when you come out the other side, you are not yourself anymore. It's altogether like not a good thing. The thing that's keeping us alive in this one is our atmosphere. It is literally what protects us from the elements. That is what is keeping us alive. Why it's so cold in space and why they say space is a vacuum? Because we are inside of a freaking vacuum right now. The whole planet. And I think we're inside one. And I think the reason we are inside one is because being outside is dangerous. It's dangerous. And the last time, about 13,000 years ago, we passed right through the asteroid belt, and it fucked us. But if no asteroids can hit us, then we won't get screwed that way. And I'm pretty sure it's the safest and most viable way of protection to exist inside of a black hole. I mean, of course, if we did it intentionally, it would be for protection. Mm. So I need to figure out, I'm just getting lost in my own thoughts now. Trust me, man, the minute you think you have something figured out, you're just peeling back another layer, man. That's all it is. The truth is a path. Mm. All right, so I'm just gonna stick it right here in the negative track, grounded. Let's set it, let's fire it off. And this is the cool part about it. You can tell it's working, right? Look at how many amps we're drawing. Barely 100 milliamps. That's powerful, man. I didn't realize that my coil was actually, that powerful. But you trigger it a different way and everything changes. I mean, there is like a thought process that says as the universe expands, everything gets farther and farther away from each other, and all that space fills in with dark matter and dark energy. So it's not like it's empty space. It's not. It's and then everything freezes, man. The deep freeze happens. You're far enough away from the sun that you freeze, and your whole planet freezes, and everybody's just an icicle. And it continues that way for eternity, unless you get recycled. Oh, I understand that you got to name all this stuff, but I don't need to know the name of that crap. I just know it exists. I don't need to know what it's called. But that dark matter expansiveness, um, virtually, if I could explain it in this way, when the electromagnetic field expands, it gets, it goes out. It gets wider and weaker as it goes out, right? But as it gets wider, um, Nathan, Old Man Builds, had a picture. It had a butterfly. It was an electromagnetic field, right? It had a butterfly, had all that stuff in it. And those electromagnetic fields were connected by what I would call rays that were twisted and convoluted into shapes, but they were rays of energy, right? How the energy was formed. And when you push it out, virtually what I'm saying is that shape is not hollow. Uh, the space between the end, there's literal mass, negative mass, between each band of energy that also expands. So we're going to call it negative mass, Mike. Good, thank you. But there's nothing to be done about it. It's intricately a part of all of it. You take that away, and the whole thing will collapse because there'll be nothing holding it up. Yep, and you're going to relearn that one. hmm I would say that it can't. Let me put it this way, and let me see if I'm understanding what you're saying, Mike. Um, Evil cannot create life. Is that what you're saying? So every time Satan tried to make a baby or have a positive influence in life, he failed. He ended up making a cat, and I ended up giving that cat fur because for various reasons. Yes, yes, the magnetic field shape, but you've got to realize that when you expand that magnetic field, the farther it gets away from the center. From the center to the edge of that shape is a solid mass. It's full of negative mass and it's full of positive mass. There's no hollow space in that configuration at all. So, like, space would be the wrong word to use. The shape is full of energy. It's not just the magnetic field, it's the antiphase. You know, it's not just the phasing, it's the anti-phasing. And when you twist your wires, like a Litz wire, you get an anti-phase. Um, you conjure an anti-phase by doing that. Mm. Yes, sir. Uh, but, you know, I barely scratched the surface of any of that stuff, man. I just barely know about it. But yes, coil geometry. And there's a lot more to it than just the butterfly wings. That's just part of it. But as it all expands, it fills itself in with negative mass, negative energy. I mean, if it is a model of the universe, that space is not empty. And what I do know for a fact that a lot of things are cyclical in nature. They perform in cycles, but it's all AC/DC. There's no stagnant oscillation of anything that matters. It's all moving forward. It's all oscillating, but it's all moving in a forward motion. Even if it's trapped in a toroid, it's still moving in a forward motion. And that's how you get electrons that never pass the same way twice, is because it's always moving forward. If it's stagnant, you will hit the same path again. 100% positivity. Even if it takes a million years, you will eventually hit the same path if you don't move forward. So I'm basically saying time is real. It might be able to be manipulated or even changed, but time is definitely part of the equation. Hey, what's up, society? You can't forsake time. Even if you never die, you can't forsake time. It's real. It's a real deal, man. And it makes everything so much more beautiful. It really does. So I had this thought that, you know, I would make one of those little counter rotators that could fit in like a dreidel, like a little top, and then I'd drop it in the center of the mire right next door to me. I think I already did this because the minute I walked in there 2.5 years ago, I'm like, this feels weird. This feels really weird. It feels like there's something pulling me to the center of this building. I don't know, man. I think there's something to it, though, that the counter rotators can kind of create a rift. Whether it's a usable rift, I don't know. It's none of my freaking business, man. I'm not trying to change time. I'm not trying to change my life in any way. I'm happy with where I'm at. You haven't seen anything, but thank you. Yeah, if this is making you nauseous, you should probably go somewhere else. Thanks for the advice. Okay. I know. It's okay, man. I'm all right. It's not like I don't agree with you. I mean, disagree with you. Could definitely use a good sprucing up in here, but it's been worse, man. It's been way worse. So, besides building pulse motors and stuff, I like to paint. And those are my initials right there, M.P.H. M.P.H. We got our Templar Knight, angelic dude, man. He's the guy right there. And I don't trace nothing. You can tell that it's all freelance. And I like painting things called firescapes. What would fire look like without anything burning? Like if nothing was burning, what would fire look like? I mean, if you can think about that for a while, it kind of boggles your mind. What would it look like if nothing was burning and it was still there? Heck yeah, man. I got tons of paintings, dude. I painted for several years before I even knew a pulse motor was a thing. So I've got plenty of other brain exercise going on. I don't know. Maybe. Do you know what it looks like inside the sun? I'm not talking about looking at the sun because you could, your mind automatically says the center of the sun is on fire. That's what it does. It reverts to that automatically. You say it's burning out from the inside, you know. But if you go inside the sun and you're looking out, that's more what I'm interested in. Yes, if nothing was burning and it still existed, what would it look like? And here's the base of one of my counter rotators. I fried the breadboard 2 times. And I think it's because I actually hacksawed one of these ones in half, and that degraded the integrity of the breadboard completely. And it ended up just melding together, and every time I would plug one of these in, I would get sparks. So, and I knew that it was the breadboard because it worked prior to that. There is no fuel. That's my point, Brian. The burning flames without any fuel, no source. That's what the perpetual motion is all about, is a firescape. So you have all this burning, but there's nothing burning. Right? Is it real? I don't think a fire escape is a real thing, dude. I think it's something that I make my mind try to comprehend, you know? I think in order to have a fire, something has to be burning, at least in the laws of physics. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Even if it's the sun, you got all that hydrogen burning up. Something's burning. But I'm just, fire as an essence. fire as a being itself. You know, the source of the fire is the fire, kind of thing. Maybe, maybe, but I think even thunder and lightning needs fuel. It's just a big group of positive and negative electrons that move in proximity to one another, and pow, you get some lightning. Motion is key to having all that work. So, you know, I can't necessarily agree with that. No, that I don't know about that. I don't know if fire in its nature is unique to our planet. I don't know for a fact, but I would say that zero gravity fire would be awesome as long as there was some oxygen, you know, and as long as it was real. I don't think fire happens in space. I don't. I don't think, like, when something blows up in space, you don't get like the explosion that you do down here. You might get some kind of like different kind of fire, but it's not the same. I do have a vacuum with a ceramic plate that we could do some anti-gravity or maybe not anti-gravity, but we could definitely suck the air out of it. But I don't think we're making any fire if we suck the air out. We might be able to get a plasmic reaction. Yes, plasma and fire are different though. I think plasma is one of the most awesome things I've ever had the pleasure of, you know, experiencing. And plasma is awesome. And yeah, I think it can only exist in a vacuumed environment. Mm. All right, so I mean, we got the flux capacitor over here, and it's generating electricity off of this coil. None of it's hooked up right now, though. This is hooked up. And these magnets are like 3 times stronger than the cube magnets. They got a wider range. They got um, the only thing that might be a little weaker is how much it penetrates. Because like the cubes are technically about 3 millimeters thicker, so you get 3 millimeters more that way. But they don't compare. They really don't. Oh, I painted it a few nights ago, a few live streams ago. And it's okay. I mean, I know people get excited, but to come in, drop a bomb, and leave is not cool. Whatever your bomb may be, whether it's a good idea, um, to it being totally troll, dropping bombs is not okay, in my opinion. I mean, if you're going to have a great idea, that is good, but you should explain how to hook it up, or at least how it works, before you leave. Oh, it's lifting off, baby. Holy cow. We were at like 4,700, 54, 55. Holy smoke, man. So, yeah, wow. Yeah, hell yeah. That was like one of the fastest. Yes, man. That was a new record for sure. the had the whole thing rattling. Awesome beat. That's so cool, man. You know Double O beat? 007? And the power is cut. That's a lot of inertia, man. That's a straight flywheel right there. Yeah, man. I don't know. I sometimes I yes, sir. He spells it out though. What's a bisometer, Total Tech? Yeah, he's helped me out a lot. Beat Double O is pretty cool. Actually, Brian, it's not on a maglev. Yep, it's not. I didn't have an extra one to put on there. You would have assumed, though, judging by how fast it was going. I definitely would have thought so. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna hit. I'm gonna turn it on, and I think it's moving fast enough that it will continue. And 12 volts. Now what I had it up to 19 volts. So it's at 12.4.2 amps. Those amps will keep rising. I wanted to get up to about 1 amp. And I personally think that pulse motors want to counter rotate more than they want to generate. I mean, if it had feelings and emotions and needs and desires and wants, it would want to counter rotate before it would want to generate electricity. $5,600. Only at 12 volts though. That's the best it's ever been. 5,700. 58. Oh man, we're getting really close to 2,000 RPMs, guys. $6,000 divided by 3. Holy shit. At 12 volts. Now I could so turn that up to 24. I think I might fry something if I do that. See, I got 2 lithium-ion batteries attached to that one over there. And that's a 24 volts. And if you're going to run a counter rotator, I recommend anywhere from 18 to 24 volts to start. That's where you start at. Especially if it exceeds anything over what I would consider the weight of a micro machine, you're going to need more power. I love that thing, man. It's so, and judging by the reed switch and how that was moving, God, this is so much better. And I think it's 2 things: using the trigger coil, and then using this rotor instead of the other rotor. And when I say the other rotor, I mean that one right there. Yeah, we're going to learn more about caps. We're going to learn more about diagrams. Those are the 2 things that I hate about this stuff the most. Actually, caps for their dangerous connotations, and diagrams for just, I mean, this is a circle, okay? No doubt about it, man. That's a circle, and you're going to draw me a square. That's why I don't like diagrams. And I think it's, the engineer's shortcomings, which ultimately lead to them drawing straight lines instead of curved ones. Thanks, Pete. Yeah, man, I really like the self-starting one. I can explain to you how that works, exactly how that works. I got kind of bored with it though, because it's so simple that I just wanted to do something else. But here, let's demonstrate. We're not going to do it though, because we have to rehook everything up to do it. With the other rotor, this reed switch here is slightly magnetic. Either what it's encased in or something is magnetic. So the magnet would always line it up with the reed switch, which happened to be right there on the coil. So you just line this up to hold the magnet right there on the coil, so when you turn the switch on, it starts up automatically. And it's that simple. It's literally, that's all it is. Now I had another suggestion to use a capacitor to start it, and I'm working on how to do that. But it's like it got dumped on me, and now I have to draw a picture of it so other people can help me with it when it's their freaking thing. But I have to draw the picture. I don't know, man. I don't know how that works. But I'll do it. I'll draw the picture. I'll draw the diagram. I'll make sure everybody knows how to do something that I have no freaking idea how to do. No, I'd never do that to you guys. Honestly, if I don't know how to do it, it won't be done on the show. I mean, I will try. I've tried to do it previously. Make a braking system out of a capacitor and a diode, but apparently I needed more than that, than just those two things to make it work. Thanks, Pete. I think that the two things that helped me out the most was the community and my 3D printer. But now we take away the reed switch, and that trigger coil keeps time way better than that reed switch does, especially with the spacing of the 120-degree magnets here. It's way better. Hey, hey! What's up, Milan? Oh man, Mike, that's got to be. Did you get frustrated or did you just let it go? Still haven't found out what that rattling noise is. All right, B. I'll catch you later, man. Thanks for stopping in. Probably, Brian, you're absolutely right about that, I'm pretty sure. Because now that it's moving fast enough, the inertia is holding the magnets in place. Nope. I gotta show you something, Mike. There's no maglev on this. It's just resting on a bearing and a flange. There's quite a bit of an air gap there, too. That's a twist of fate. I got good bearings, man. That is definitely a twist of fate. But I do believe that you're right. The balance on this thing is pretty immaculate. And there it goes. Any off balance or unbalanced, literally it got up to 2,000 without shaking anything. And then, at that point, any unbalance at all will show itself. But yeah, I would say that it's pretty well centered. I mean, the bearings are just hammered in there, so it was a good hammering. Yeah, but it's literally it has nothing to do with anything that's going on right now because there's only one of them, and I mean it's attracting this rotor and that magnet on the bottom. If anything's happening, it's attracting each other. So it's definitely not magleved. It's definitely resting on the bearing. Absolutely. 3D printed rotor. That's what it's resting on. So what I'm saying is I could totally remove that magnet and its performance wouldn't change it one bit. Oh man. It might have a minor stabilizing effect through attraction, but it's definitely not repelling to levitate it. I think with the way that I eyeballed this one, you're right, Mike. See, because the spacing between that corner and the edge, if we spin it to the next one, that corner and the edge, it's the same. Spin it to the next one, that corner and the edge is the same distance. And that's pretty much how you got to measure it when you're eyeballing, is that these tiny measurements have to be the same all the way around. I don't know. It could have gone either way. So thanks, Mike. I really appreciate that. You want me to raise it another 1/4 inch? You think it's too close? Yeah, it is pretty close. I believe that it's about a 1/2 inch right now. So this is how I'll do that. Put two more bearings on there. Now it's raised up. We'll call it half an inch to now let's look. Does that look better, Mike? Yeah, no, there's no core in this. I haven't put a core in yet. I don't even know if I'm gonna. Lower it. I'll remove all the bearings then. And use my wrench to lower it 1/4 inch. All right, so I lowered it like a 1/2 inch, and then I'm just going to put all those bearings back on. Mike, I've been working with unsecured drive coil this whole time, bro. I'm not sure that's as quite a necessity as you think it is. So we need to remove one more of the bearings. So there's only one way to really secure that coil, Mike. I'm trying not to glue it down. Gotcha. Yeah, I can secure it. It's just, it's gonna, it's a give and take with how much I'm gonna take. So let me do that real quick, because it will levitate or lift up. All right, so this is going to take just a little bit more time than I thought, especially doing it with one hand. I might have to put that back up there for right now. I might be able to do it like this. All right, since I'm out of glue in the gun, I'm going to put this back. I'm going to get a glue stick. Oh, nice. That thing heats up too quick, though. That's a little bit of glue. I'm pretty sure some people might disagree with me about that. So that's not going anywhere. But yeah, the coil did jostle around quite a bit, especially when I turned it up, especially when it was split into parallel circuits. Alright, let's give this a whirl. So it's at 12.5 volts and 0.5 amps at the moment. We're at 4,000 at the moment. Adjusting the trigger a little bit. $48. So we're at 58.69. I get kind of like enthralled when I'm doing this. 59, 60, 6,000. We're gonna let it keep going. $62. Wow, I'd say we're good. It's a 12-volt system like that. Turn it up to 15 volts. Ooh, nope, we're gonna cut it back. Everything's kind of vibrating. That was awesome. Heck yeah. Woo! Pulse motor mayhem, ladies and gentlemen. No, the balance is good. It's the bearing that I'm worried about. I think it's good, but it tends to pop up a little bit, and I stop it every once in a while, all the time, just to make sure everything's still in one piece. Yeah, just a few holes, some broken plastic maybe. Yeah, when you do this stuff, I do advise wearing protective gear from your head to your jewels or other sensitive bits. You gotta wear your body armor, that's what I'm saying. Whew. So thanks for hanging out, guys. It's been a real kicker, man. Very thrilled. I wanted to come back around noon earlier today, but life gets in the way of having fun sometimes. And I don't know, man. I'll have to discuss things with people, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about my situation right now. I think it's pretty good. So I lied. I think it's pretty good situation. I needed to talk to a few people about a few things if they want to talk about it. And we're gonna move forward from here. Um, this one's more of a time machine, Ryan. This one's a counter-rotating pulse motor. So the stator and the rotor both move in opposite directions. This is a standard pulse motor, electromagnetic pulse motor. Ha, yeah, takes time to have this much fun, that's right. I heard that if a counter rotator spins fast enough, it can rip the fabric of time. I've heard that. I don't know if this necessarily is a time machine, but that you just saw it maybe moving pretty fast. So I'll have to hook up my counter rotator battery operated pulse motor again. I'm going to try and hook up the trigger coils. I need to get a new breadboard for it. I'm sorry. Transfer the generated torque from what? Every single one of these motors wants to counter rotate, bro. Every single one of them. And before you go judging that, I dare you to untether your stator and try it out for yourself. I open my lab to you guys for sure. And my question is, Ryan, why do you care? Just a question. You're curious as to why I would want to build such a thing? It's just fun. It's literally fun for me to do. I love magnetism. I love electromagnetism now. I didn't know anything about electromagnetism when I started doing this. I started doing this 2 years ago. I've learned a lot. Hi, Robot. What's up, my man? I am so glad you're here. I will always treat you guys with respect. You, Robot, I'm glad you're here, man. Yeah, even though I know what the word robo means, you're still my friend. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I never had a problem with anybody, really. Oh, there was this one guy who said that I was racist by default because my moderators were racist. That guy can jump off a bridge. That's what I'm saying. That guy was wrong. I'm not a racist. Wow, I've had some really awesome experiences being a creator on YouTube. Even the negative ones have been kind of awesome, you know? Hell yeah, Mike. I'm dying to see what you can do, man. If you can, like, show me the shit, man, dude, I would learn 10 times faster, and we could go back in time tomorrow. No. No, Ryan. The rotor, which is one part of the motor, spins one way. Okay? And then the stator, which is right here, when I put that on the pole, will spin the other way. And the interaction between the two will cause them both to spin faster. It's all true. All right. I kind of want to show people how that works now. I mean, I'm not going to hook it all the way up because it's just not what I'm doing right now, but I will put the stator on to show you how it works. Yeah, that. There we go. So that's the stator, okay? That's the thing the coils are on, and it's moving, okay? That's how it works. You free up the stator so it can move, and it will. There's no output, man. You can't hook up a fucking meter to that. Use your brain, dude. Use your brain, please. The stator's moving. You cannot hook up a meter to it because it will tether it. And the idea is to be untethered. It's not for generating electricity, dude. It's really not. If it does anything, it rips a hole in space-time, man. That's what it's supposed to do. And I knew it was like, come on, man. How do you expect it to kind of rotate if you got a meter hooked up to it? Anyway, I got a bearing caught in there. And you got to stack the bearings up. There we go, I got it. And I guarantee you, the pulse motor wants to counter rotate more than it wants to generate electricity. Because it doesn't have to generate electricity. No, I made this overnight, man. Virtually. Took me less than 3 days to put this thing together. I mean, aliens, I guess, could have used the tech to, create a rift in time to travel interdimensionally. But that's neither here nor there. Since this does have a maglev, we are going to utilize it. Goodness. Dude, man is right. I need to tidy up just a little bit so I don't trip on stuff. And I literally have to stack all this stuff on top of it in order for it to be the proper distance. Now that's maglev. Boing. Yeah, there's something not right with these bearings. And this is coming off. But, you know, I could start this thing from scratch. I'm just going to put it on here so that you can see it if you haven't seen it already. Now there's no trigger. I'm not going to run this thing for you guys tonight. I'm showing you what it looks like when it's all put together. I don't have a motor for it right now because the way they build things today is very cheap. So that's basically how it works. Apparently I do not, there it is. I didn't have enough. But if I stack them all up there, they should be enough. And that's how it works. If you didn't get that, I'm sorry. Sorry. Should have been paying attention. But it's got, and I need to put a lot of work into it right now to make it functional again. But it's a 24 volt system. It has 2 lithium ion batteries that are 12 volt packs. Runs completely untethered, no connections whatsoever. Now, the only way that I think I could get some readings on this thing is with infrared, and I'm not buying an infrared multimeter. I'm just not going to do that. Sure, man, I'm pretty sure you could manipulate anything, do whatever the hell you wanted it to do. But as a nature, this thing wants to spin both ways. Oh, man. All right, well, thank you all. I'll either build myself a better counter rotator, or I will set that one up. I'll make it work again. But it literally, after the last live stream with it, fell apart. And it was for no other reason than the bearings had started to, and the breadboard. Breadboard was fried, and the bearings had started to come out of the hole, basically. I got a steel toe boot for a judgmental prick. You don't want to know what the rest of those lyrics are, man, because it's all about barnyard animals and donkeys, and we don't need to go there. Yes. I could print lots of different things, but it's just, you know, you say a square frame, dude, but I mean, there's so much personal adjustment and stuff, just so much more than that behind what you just said is like, you know, literally 5 hours of eyeballing work. Yes, wood is definitely the way I would want to go. And yes, I do need to build a frame that can stabilize the top of the shaft. That has to happen. But how I'm going to do that, you know, I don't want to just do it, or I would have done it already. I have some lumber that I might be able to use, but yeah, you don't understand, man. Putting that apparatus on the top of my shaft, it's a whole different ball game from there, dude. The way that I do stuff wouldn't be applicable anymore. But it's something I've been looking to do anyway. Because every time I have to take the rotor off, I have to remove that. It's going to get old fast. But I think the wood, just 3 pieces of wood, a leg here, or maybe 5 pieces of wood, or 6 pieces of wood, 4 legs, and a cross. Bam. I've been thinking about it, man. I've been thinking about it a lot. But this is pretty solid, man. I've re-secured it underneath. I'm pretty sure anything that we do to secure this is going to make the whole table shake even more. It's all right. We'll do it. We'll do it. And you know what I'm thinking about doing is building one of these bases that I built for my counter rotators. It's just a base, but I'm going to have, you know, the arms come up to the top. What are you talking about, Mike? Or should I say, who the fuck are you talking to? You know I can't see shit. Sorry, I was good. Was gargling some Listerine and keeping my mouth fresh. Anyway, so you're talking to me. What am I supposed to see? What am I looking? I can't see that. Is that on your channel? So like after I'm done doing this, I can go check it out? Yep, I'll look at it when we're done here, or when I'm done here. Absolutely. I know there's only a few people here, but I'm not going to start disrespecting everybody. And I don't want to disrespect you either. It's just that I'll take a look at it afterwards. Okay. Heck yeah, man. I'll check that out. All right, cool. All right. Damn, I need a longer shirt. All right. So I think we're going to wrap it up here in about 6 minutes. Thank you all for hanging out, man. I really appreciate that. This is a cool stream. It's a lot different from many streams that I've had. So thank you all for hanging out, man. That's good. All right, Mike, I'll talk to you later, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. All your help, man. Nice hanging in there, man. I can be a real pain in the ass sometimes. It's all out of a desire to learn, though. I want to learn. I want to learn efficiently and effectively. And I learn mostly from, looking at completed things and how they're put together. But I should try probably start by reading some schematics and see if I can understand them. Yes, I have a pillow block bearing, sir, and that is a great idea. Heck yeah, screw it into the wood and then clamp down on the shaft. But, and then if I wanted to have the shaft spin, you just unclamp it, and it works the same way. That's right, Brian. I try not to BS my way around stuff, but sometimes I don't have any choice because that's... Later, Mike. Heck yeah, man. And maybe, I don't know, man, maybe I can find a place in all this for myself. We'll work it out. Oh, I know. I know what you meant, Brian. Whew. Holy smoke. Oh, man, I'm going to have to, yeah. I really appreciate everybody coming through, but after 3 hours without virtually any water or anything like that, and sweating like I'm sweating, I'm kind of getting ready to pass out now. So I'm gonna call it for the night, guys. Thank you for coming in. Thanks, Brian. Just keep in mind, if you're interested later in that moderator position, there's several different types of moderators, Brian. You don't have to be an all-out one. You can just be a standard one, if you'd like to. All right. Well, keep that in mind, and thank you. Peace out. Have a good night. Bye now.